What's stopping you from writing your family story? Maybe you think it's too much work or that no one will care what you write. But let me ask you this. If every man is a quotation from all his ancestors, as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, how will your descendants know what their quotation is if you don't share those stories? Let's dive into why writing your family history is not just a gift to your descendants, it's also a gift to yourself. Welcome to the Write Your Family Histories channel's Writer's Corners, where you ask questions that don't quite fit various topics, and I answer them. But who am I? I'm Devin Noel Lee, the author of A Recipe for Writing Family History, a quick guide to help you rapidly write your family stories and turn them into books for your shelves. When you write, you honor your ancestors and yourself. There's a beautiful Native American proverb that says, "Our ancestors dwell in the soil, the rivers, the mountains, and the sky. To honor them is to honor ourselves." Living in New Mexico, I can understand why natives speak this way. However, it's a lovely thought, but the soil, rivers, and mountains can't speak in words that we understand. But your writing does. For me, one of the greatest gifts I received from my mother before she passed away was a written story that applies to my grandmother. My great-grandmother, Laura Maud Smith, made a brave decision to adopt a sickly infant rather than turn her away. That child grew up to be my granny, who lived to be 92 and blessed our family for many generations. If my great-grandaunt hadn't written this story to my mother in the 1970s, we might never have known about Laura's Maud's selfless act of love. And now this story lives on in that scrapbook that I created, where future generations can treasure her love for generations to come. I pieced together my ancestor Joseph Geisler's journey from Baden to America, where he faced challenges in his homeland and the New World. Writing allowed me to share his story and even dispelled myths, such as how he died with a big smack on the ground. I still don't know how he actually passed away, but I do know how he didn't. Writing preserves your research, turning it into stories that last beyond fragile papers or fading memories. My kids love the stories from a family book Aunt Gloria compiled, and it's a big one. Within this book, they laugh about the stories great-grandpa Bert shared about his World War II misadventures. They also remember Uncle Steve telling the story about how he was rejected for being too tall for a dwarf part in the movie Willow. These stories connect my kids to the relatives they've never met or have forgotten. And this keeps our family legacy alive. Finally, writing creates a lasting legacy. I'll never forget reading an old journal where my dad wrote, "God loves you and so do I." I'm still choked up every time I think about that line that I wrote after he said it. Now, I'm writing stories for my own children. If my words outlast me as my father's have outlasted him, they'll know they're loved even when I'm no longer here. So why not start writing your family history today? It's a gift for future generations, but also for yourself. The gift of reflection, connection, and legacy. What gifts have you received from preserving your family history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I love that many viewers are accepting the 5-minute memoir writing challenge that was in the video that I will link in the description below. I just wanted to get some of your juices flowing with some of the comments that have been shared. Jay Holmansky, a subscriber of the year, had these 5 thoughts. I can pinpoint the exact moment my lifelong fear of getting lost began. Ooh. The time my cousin Jojo and I stayed up all night and made my aunt take goofy pictures of us at 5 in the morning. Standing up to a bully in middle school. the moment I knew my husband was a one, the summer before my sophomore year to get one of the lead roles in a play. Those are great. How many of you have similar memories like that? For DS Wood, they said learning to drive and buying a stick shift car before I knew how to work the gears. Oh, I hate stick shift. Touring Scotland and playing in pipe band competitions. I want to know more about that. My first job, meeting my future spouse in a bar while on a business trip, circumstances around early retirement. RG7531 said when we got a new German Shepherd who bolted and ran into the wood as soon as we opened the car door. Walking a couple miles to play tennis routinely. Nearly drowning because I felt I would be in a lot of trouble for letting my sister's float get away at the beach. This person keeps talking about semi-feral kids, and I just love that. So cute. Driving all night with my mom falling asleep at the wheel, only to jerk awake at the last second. Okay, I can relate to that one because I did have an experience where I worked night shift and I was driving home and I drove 45 minutes away from work and I almost ran into a train, but I woke up at the last minute. So, P. Smith shared these: playing street ball, Xmas morning, passing my driver's test, breaking a leg, buying my first house. Now, I really, really like the variety that people are sharing. Some people, like P. Smith, has very, very brief bullet points, and others have a little more detail, and that can trigger their writing process. So for everyone who has accepted the challenge, this challenge is still available. I love reading your 5 things. The next step after the 5 things is picking one of those, writing the story, and then coming back and let me know how it goes. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe on your way out. Then go write your family history.